Here, Jimmy. Okay. And we're live. Hey, we've got two people.
Hey!
Can you hear us, people in the chat? We've got Roman Biscotti / Tange,
Hey, everyone.
Gerald, Beneficial. Hi, chat people. Are you able to see and hear us? Woo! That was fun.
Yes. Troubleshooting. All right.
So, thank you so much for coming on. I'm so glad to finally be able to hear you.
Yeah.
Sure
Yeah.
it was
Thanks for
on my
having me.
end. I'm sure it was on my end.
Oh,
But
no worries.
first of all, I kind of wanted to apologize to the group in general because I put this at 7 and our friends across the pond, it's probably really late for them, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So next time, we'll do this a little bit earlier. So I apologize for that. But how are you, Ange?
I'm good. I'm good. 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 Yeah, it's good to be here. Thanks for having me. This is exciting
No
that you're doing these
problem.
interviews on this space.
Yeah, I like it. I found out that in the chat I was asking all these, intrusive questions, and I thought, well, why don't I just ask it myself? So that's why you are my second interviewee.
Nice.
Interviewee, yes. So you look gorgeous,
Thank
and
you.
is that a print of something in the background?
It's just one of those like tapestries from Amazon. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really pretty. It's really pretty.
Yeah. Thank you.
Um, did you have a good holiday season?
Yeah, it was different. It was quiet. We just stayed
Yeah.
here because of the world's craziness.
It is. It's crazy. Nothing like
But
it.
it was good. We indulged in far too many sweets and just had a good time hanging out here. So it was
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, good. Good.
Yeah.
Okay. So I just wanted to ask a little bit about your channel and what you kind of want to project forward in this new year.
Yeah.
So, I didn't want to know everything about Ange. So I just looked at a couple videos. In your first video,
Hmm.
you had 100, I think 101 comments from heavy hitters in the tarot tube industry. And
Yeah.
I thought, wow, she resonates with people somehow, somewhere. So,
Mm.
um, how did you get into this? How did you get into this?
Yeah. So, okay. So my actual channel, Tiny Trinkets and Tarot, I started a year ago, January 9th. So Sunday will be my 1 year
Yeah,
that I
I
started.
noticed that.
Um, but I've been on YouTube for, I mean, I think since 2006. So I've watched TarotTube sort of
Oh,
form and grow, but I never really was one to comment or certainly not to put my face out here.
you kind of
Um,
lurked.
so I was a lurker for a while. But then I started to comment maybe, I would say, I'm not sure, maybe 3 years ago. I don't, dates and me, I don't really know. But maybe 3 years ago, I came out as a hermit and high priestess. That was
Oh,
my YouTube name. And so I would
okay.
just go into the comments and into live chats and talk to people and whatnot. But yeah, and then after that, I just was so inspired by many of the people that we follow
Right.
to just put myself out here and share my voice and my unique personality and unique way of divining with all the things that I have. And
Yeah.
yeah, there was some people out there like Amy, Strength Reversed. She
Yeah.
really was a key player and just like, well, do it. Like, just take the dive.
Right.
Just, And so there was a lot of cheerleaders. So a lot of those people that you saw commenting were, mentors and cheerleaders of just like, just do
Yeah.
it. Just put yourself out
That's
there. So,
great. Yeah. There. Yeah.
yeah,
I like Amy a lot. I don't know Candy. Is that her name? Candy
Candy.
Yeah. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
her, but most of them were, really nice, heavy
Mm-hmm.
hitting kind of people.
Yes.
So that was neat. And I am used to divination with tarot.
Hmm.
I really have never heard of until I met you of trinkets. How did
Yeah.
is that a new thing or is that normal? Am I just out there?
So kind of, so how, for me, how it all began, like I've been sort of collecting little treasures my whole life, like since childhood. So
Yeah.
um I never really knew what I was doing was divining. I was just being a kid and and collecting little trinkety things and having fun and making stories with them and making connections, symbolism with the real world and what I was seeing. Like prizes in the cereal boxes, Cracker Jack boxes, putting a quarter into the bubblegum machine and getting a prize that way. Um, you know, I've always just sort of had them around me. Even the little like accessories for Barbies, I would be more, into those than the Barbies themselves. So I would always just play around with them. So even some of the trinkets that I have now are some little toys from my childhood, but
Oh,
certainly,
that's
I mean,
neat.
yeah, there's many different charms, though. I mean, there's some that have been gifted to me, some that I've purchased on like Amazon from hobby stores and things like that. But also growing up with a mom that is a hello, everybody in chat. I'm not really good at this multitasking
I'm
thing,
not either, and
by
I
the way.
apologize for that.
Sorry.
I'm gonna try and help you.
I don't know how you all make it look so easy when you're like firing off these comments and looking at the camera. I'm like, okay, I think I have to look here. I like, anyway, but my mom's a crafter, so I grew up in craft stores. She would run, like manage some of these craft stores. So there was always like little trinkety things, little miniature dollhouse items, like all these little inspiring things. She would take me to her friends' houses that were like troves of crafting supplies everywhere you could
Oh,
imagine,
neat.
from like little shells to little beads to little trinkety things. And I was just allowed to go and explore and be. And anyway, so this all brings us back to sort of my love for the little trinkety things. I just love the fine details in life. Being the Virgo, it probably doesn't surprise a lot of people. Um, and it wasn't until I got into like oracle cards, and I got into oracle cards way before tarot cards,
Okay.
specifically Doreen Virtue, that whole thing.
Yeah,
So that's sort of what brought me into the oracle cards. And
that's a kind
I
of an easy way in.
yeah, it
Dorian
was like a
Virtue,
gentle
yeah,
approach, and it was
yeah.
just I didn't know any other way but that at first. I thought, oh, well, this is what oracle cards are, and I had no idea there's this whole rabbit hole of other cards. But um, yeah, so then I just always would pull like a little trinket. This is just part of my collection. I would
Oh
always
my
just
goodness.
pull like a little trinket when I was
Wow.
pulling some of my cards. And then it was, let me think. I want to say like 10 years ago now, I went to a conference where I met Doreen Virtue and Radley Valentine in person.
Neat.
Yeah, it was really, really cool. It was actually it was called Becoming a Certified Angel Card Reader, which
Wow.
I
Yeah.
mean, looking back on it now, I'm like, oh, come on, like major cheesy. But you know what? It, it was cool. I met like a lot of really neat people through that. Radley Valentine is a really cool, spunky person in real life, just
Huh.
like he is behind or on camera. Doreen Virtue, I mean, at the time, I thought that she was who she was portraying herself to be, but um, I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what happened with her, and that's her path, and I'm definitely not here to judge
Yeah, I
that.
don't
But
think so.
anyway, it was that brought me to the tarot, and I got the angel
Oh.
tarot, and I got them to sign the inside of it when I was
Oh, how
there.
neat.
And that's a little white feather that's stuck inside of there because I found that when I was at the angel conference, which was really
Oh, that's neat.
cool. So yeah, so this is what started the whole tarot thing for me because I was certainly familiar with Oracle that you just sort of do your own thing. There's no system. But then I was intrigued by the tarot and I was like, hmm. But then when I heard her talking about, there's a structure to it and that she made it less, what was the word she used? Like less scary or whatever. And I thought, well, what does that mean? Like, where are all these scary cards? I want to see what they look like. So
Yeah.
then that got me into like, okay, what is like the real tarot, the traditional tarot look like? Which, as you know, opens up a whole nother door of like, oh, okay, there's the traditional RWS and there's the
Right.
Marseille and there's the Thoth and there's the all of these things. And I was like mind blown. And then from there, I just began collecting slowly different decks that resonated with me, and I've always just continued to incorporate the trinkets with it, and yeah, and that's where I am now, I guess.
So, yeah, that's really interesting to divine with trinkets. Um, so, do you just like throw some trinkets? Do you pick some and throw them, just kind of like
Hmm.
dice
Yeah.
or like
Um,
ruins?
I don't have it with me, but I have these little like wooden bowls, and sometimes I'll just scoop like the wooden bowl into it. So my trinkets, like they live in my glass jar, like this, but they have outgrown the glass jar. So I used to just sort of reach in the glass jar, but it's usually full up to the top if I put like all of the trinkets in the jar. Um,
If you had to
so,
guess, how many do you have, just offhand?
oh gosh, that's a really good question. I would, I don't know. I would say thousands for sure because
Yeah.
there's so many little tiny things in there. Um, we should do like a thing one time to say how many trinkets are in
That
Andrew's
would be
jar, and then
neat.
somebody could like win
And
a
then,
deck. That would be
but then
so
you have to
much fun.
count all of them.
That's okay. I would do that.
You guys in the chat, if you would like to ask her a question that I'm not hitting on, just put it in caps and hopefully I will get it. But welcome everybody. We've got Gerald and Beneficial, Project Refined Life, and Roman Biscotti. Love everybody in the chat.
Oh, Project Refined Life is Annette. She's amazing. I actually met her through Tarot Vlogmas. Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
And hello to everybody that's here. Thank you for your support. I love this. This is great.
Oh, the
Yeah,
cat
so
came in,
that's
so.
that's sort of like my trinket journey there. And yeah, so to answer your question, yeah, I will just, it's sort of just, my trinkets are like another layer. So for all my readings, I use tarot, oracle, and trinkets. That's just what I do. I like to layer my readings. And then even sometimes I'll take it a step further if I want, and I'll add, like, these are Scrabble tiles
Oh,
and haiku dice that have
okay.
little words on them.
Oh,
So I
neat.
think it just depends. Like I'm very much an intuitive reader. I mean, I certainly have been studying the tarot and the structures that go along with it, but I'm very much an intuitive reader in terms of just going with what I feel and what I see. And symbolism is a big thing for me. That's sort of how I get my intuitive hits is symbolism.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
So,
the only thing I have to write with jingles.
oh, that's all right. It's all good.
So, do you have a favorite one or a few favorites that you can show us?
Um, I'm not really like a favorites kind of a gal. I suppose some of the ones that have stuck with me through childhood would have the sentimental value to it. Um, I'm not really sure where they would be at the very moment. I would have to dig through here to find them, but I know there's like a little wind up hippopotamus from
Oh,
childhood, and
I
there's like a
saw
little,
one where you had a parachute and you had some synchronicities where somebody sent you a tarot card that had a parachute and or
yes,
not a parachute, a balloon,
the hot air
hot air
balloons.
balloon. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, yeah. So,
that is
go ahead.
interesting because that's what so that whole hot air balloon thing started right when I started my channel, and I was really nervous to put myself out here because I mean this is weird. This is like people like don't normally do this kind of thing, and I'm like, oh, I don't know if people are going to be receptive to this. Why do I even want to put myself out here like this? But I was like, well, just do it, just begin. I think that's how I labeled one of my videos, and I was like, I just did a reading, and the hot air balloon came up, and it started to come up in different cards. I had Evie. She's another channel out here, the Fairy Wren Nest. She was saying hot air balloons were showing up for her, even in her backyard. Like all these hot air balloons
Ooh,
started showing up. I mean, people from around the world were messaging me saying, yeah, like ever since you mentioned the hot air balloon, all of a sudden I'm seeing them everywhere. And I'm like, what? I mean, that's not really something you see every day, right? So I was like,
yeah,
okay, maybe there's something more to this. And it just sort of confirmed why I use symbolism is because it is sort of universal in our lives,
right.
and it can just bring a connection between not only the reading but maybe even with each other out here. So
Yeah, yeah.
it's just a fun way of doing it. Yeah.
Angie gave you a question, if I could find it.
That could be any mythical creature. Who, oh, hmm,
Ooh.
mythical. I mean, certainly something in the fairy realm or I mean, I don't know if some people call that mythical because some people do believe that they exist, but something in the fairy realm for sure. Like,
Yeah,
I feel like I'm just part of that living in this tree somewhere as a fairy. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Well, you caught my eye because when I was a little kid, and I guess some kids do this a lot, but I didn't have a lot of friends. Wonder why. But I would pick up stuff off the ground like coins,
Hmm.
pebbles, just and I would call them trinkets, but they would be my friends. My friends.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
my mom would empty my pockets and there'd be feathers and coins and stuff. So I
Yes.
thought, that's me. And I'm not weird.
Exactly.
But
And I love that you mentioned that because a trinket, if we can define that, is not
yeah.
necessarily, I mean, I know I'm showing you all these fun looking little things, but it doesn't have to be. Like, I don't have anything to show, for example. Here, I'll show you this, for example. Like, out of a fortune cookie, when we have like the little fortune cookies for
Hmm.
Chinese food, that's my, like, I just fold it up there and put it in there. There is, um, I think there's a grain of rice in here somewhere, believe it or not,
Oh
as
my
if you could
God.
really find that in there. But my point is, anything could be a trinket. You know, I always encourage people to go around their house and find things they already have. Um,
Yeah.
so anything from like a paper clip to, like you said, change or
Yeah.
feathers or little stones, little crystals that you have, you'd be surprised how much stuff you have already around your house. So
Yeah.
a large portion of this collection started with just little things like that and just sort
Yeah.
of grew organically as the years went on. But
Is there anything that you wouldn't want to pull into your collection?
um, I just go by like what it feels like and
What
also
feels
the size of it. Like, it has to be a specific size to sort of blend in with all of this stuff. Otherwise,
right?
if something's really big and clunky, it's always going to come out in every reading, and that's not really random for the divining purposes of it.
Yeah.
Um, so I do have other jars of larger trinkets, but I don't necessarily use them to cast with.
Oh, that's interesting. My
Um,
husband is so supportive, and I told him that I wanted to start collecting trinkets. So he's going through junk drawers and everything, which is fine, but he comes up with huge stuff.
oh,
And I said, I don't know if this is a trinket. He eats
yep,
like 5-year-old cereal. I mean, cereal that a
yes.
5-year-old would eat. And I don't know what this is, but
He's
yeah, he
cute.
wants to. So he's supportive, but I don't know. But he's throwing me all kinds of stuff. Where am I going to put this? So yeah, I need something to put my trinkets in.
Hmm.
So you
Yeah.
have a
So, and they
glass
can be any
jar.
size. Like, they don't have to be tiny miniature, but again, it just helps if you're going to be casting with them, like with the cards, just because it just makes it more attainable. I do
Right.
have, and I guess I should have had it with me, but I don't have it with me. It's like this little serving tray board that you can cast onto, so it sort of contains the trinkets as you're
Yeah, I
casting
saw
them.
that.
Otherwise,
That's
they're all over the house.
interesting. That's
um,
interesting.
Also, you don't have to get anything fancy like that. You could just go to the dollar store and get a picture frame that has like a bit of a lip on it, and you can
Oh
cast
yeah,
onto that. And it's really cool with the picture frame because you can change out the sort of backgrounds. You can just have it white, of course, or you could
yeah.
just put
That's
different colored
really
papers. Or
creative.
um, what I do is I go online and print out, or I go on Microsoft Word and I make myself casting sheets
Hmm.
so that you can have like
Oh, like
past,
yes
present,
and
future.
no. Yeah.
Yep, stuff like that.
Awesome. That
So
is really
it's,
neat.
yeah, you could just be creative with it.
So do you do this for yourself or friends, or do you charge, or what do you want to do? Just what do you
Yeah.
want to do?
So I do just read for myself, but I have read for others. And since starting my channel, I have read for a few people, both in the community and just sort of random people that I've caught their eye, I guess. Um, I have not charged yet for it, although I've been told that I could. I just I don't know. I just have that sort of
Yeah.
imposter syndrome and that fear of like, I don't know, get over yourself kind of thing.
Right.
Um,
Yeah,
so
I
I
used to
haven't
with
done that
all.
yet in terms of charging, but it's not something I'm opposed to. I would definitely consider
Yeah.
doing that. But yeah, this year, this 2022, I just want to get more comfortable with doing things like this, like collabing with other
Yeah.
people out here that have similar interest, and maybe
Spreading your
doing some
wings.
live. Sorry, there's notifications on my phone, and doing some live readings with people. I know I was invited to be on Gerald's channel in this coming year, like this year
Yeah.
sometime, to do some live readings with him for Divination Station, and we just talked about that last night. So I'm excited about that. Um, I'm just really grateful that there's people that are so welcoming to people of any sort of level, if you
We've got a
will, if
really
you call
good
it that.
community, don't we?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Tangi put out your channel. Thank you, Tangi.
Thanks, Tange.
And yes. Yeah. Let me think. Okay, you also do tarot cards. What do you
Yeah,
have a deck that you really like, or is there a favorite deck or a few?
yeah. A few. So one I just recently got, and I just absolutely fell in love with it. It's the mini Sasori Bitu.
Oh yeah,
I just so of course I've
the
seen
mini.
the sassy burrito around the community, and I was kind of like, oh, whatever. But when they came out with this tiny one, I was like, okay, let's try it out. And I really haven't put it down since it came into my possession. But
Does
another
it have
two
a
that
border?
I don't know. They don't have a border. I don't think. Do they? Oh, yes. I guess they do have like a black border. Here, I'll show you.
Oh, neat.
And so it's like linen finish too.
The only one
They're real.
I did not like, I haven't bought that one, but the only one I didn't like is the death card. I think it's I think it's like a younger person, a younger girl
Hmm.
depicted, and that just didn't sit well with me.
Oh wow.
But
Yeah.
I
These.
mean, it's a beautiful deck. Is
This,
it a little? Is it a girl or is it a woman? An older woman?
yeah. I think it's a like you said like a. Is it supposed to be a younger girl? I'm not really
Yeah, I
sure.
don't like that.
I don't know. And then another two that I like are
Okay.
the pagan tarot
Oh yeah, that's a good one. I don't like
and
that one either.
desert illuminations. So
Ooh,
I'll show you a few of these just so that you
okay.
can see what they look like. This is desert illuminations. Let me just see if I
Oh,
can.
neat colors. Ooh.
Yeah. So it's different. It reminds me of Arizona, and I used to live in
Yeah,
Arizona for a little bit, and I just love it, and I miss it so much.
yeah.
So I don't miss
It
that heat
says
though.
she's a deck sniffer.
Yes.
I
I'm a
mean,
deck sniffer too. This one, this one smells really good. Um, and the pagan tarot is sort of. Sorry, I'm just never sure where to put
I
these things on
know.
this
I'm still
camera.
learning.
There we go.
Oh, I like that. It's modern.
Yeah, yeah. So I really enjoy this one too. And of course, along with all the other, like I said, I'm not really like a favorites kind of a gal. I like each individual deck comes into my collection for a very specific like reason, and like it's been called to me.
Yeah.
I have been very mindful of like what enters into my collection, and I do have some like Kickstarters and pre-orders that are arriving this year, but other than that,
Oh,
I'm not adding any more to my collection. I
you
just
plunged into the Kickstarter realm, huh?
yeah, I think I've backed, I don't know, like almost 50 campaigns on Kickstarter.
Wow,
I
good
think
for
40,
you.
47, I think, yeah, like throughout the whole, like since I've started Kickstarter, which was
Yeah.
several years ago. But I love Kickstarter. I think it's great to be able to help creators, bring something into fruition that they
Yeah.
couldn't otherwise do without the help of the backers. So
Yeah.
I
Do
really
you
love the
think you could
process.
do you think you could do anything like that? I mean,
I
cards or some kind of trinket situation, divination.
mm-hmm,
You could write a little guidebook about trinkets and divining
mm-hmm.
your trinkets.
Yeah, I've thought about creating either the Trinket Tarot or
Yeah.
something to do with the Trinket Oracle as well. But that's not in the near future.
Yeah.
There's so much
You've
else
got
that
so much time. Oh my goodness.
that I
Yeah.
have on my plate right now. And
Yeah.
there's really, like for this year, I really want to focus on just going deeper into my studies with a lot of the things I've already have, like I've
Right.
never really taken the time to study the Thoth system. And as much as it intimidates me, and I don't know why, it's just a
Yeah.
deck, but I'm going to do that. And then the Spirit Keeper Tarot is another one that I'd like to get to know. So, and these things are just like not just like, oh, in the year 2022. I mean, obviously it's going to take some time to sort of get to know these
Right.
systems. And yeah, so
Yeah. Yeah. When I saw you, I don't know, maybe it was with Tange. You did something with Tangi. And then I watched a couple videos of yours, and I thought that that young lady has a vibe about her of like I thought either you have to be in education or healthcare because you just have that just sort of loving, compassionate, helping others type of manner about you and your voice and the way you act and what you say. And I think that's just so neat. I just
oh,
love what
thank
you
you.
do. And are you not going into nursing or?
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm in my third year. It's a 4-year degree, a bachelor's degree in science and nursing. And
Oh,
I'm in my
wow.
third, yes, my third year. So I have a year and a half left. Um, but it's sort of like spread out because situations were happening with the current world situation.
Yeah,
Um, and so some parts of it are on hold, and I'm actually okay with that. Things happen for a reason, like
right.
cliche as it is, but it's true because I'm burnt out. I need a break.
Oh, yeah.
I've been in school for a long time, like not just nursing, but I had to take pre-health before that to qualify for nursing. Before that, I took the nurse's aid course. Before that, I was in dietary and
Oh,
nutrition. I
wow.
mean, I yeah, I've been in
So
school for a
you're
very
almost done
long
with
time.
learning. I've got
Uh,
cats that were not supposed to be in here, and they're creating havoc.
uh-oh.
Um, my husband's getting them. He heard them. So yeah, I can imagine you, in some way helping other people. Um, that's right up your alley.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
Jamie says, "What? I can only get Dex." Oh, that screamed to me. Yeah,
Yes. Yeah, they have to call to me. Yeah, for sure.
thank you.
Yeah.
Jimmy rounded up the cats. Um,
Mm.
Ange has a great taste in Dex. Yes, you do.
Ben. Hey guys.
Ben is so cute.
I know.
Didn't he though? And then I'm not sure who this person is. Um, but thank you, people in the chat. I'm trying to keep up. Uh, I'm behind. Oh, wow, I'm really behind. So, how long have you been into tarot? Ben wanted to know.
So like I was saying, my first tarot deck that I ever purchased was from this conference. Actually, it came like when you went to the conference, I went on the train and went to Toronto and saw these people, and the gift was a deck that you could pick, and I picked this tarot. So
Oh,
that was
neat.
probably I want to say 10 years ago now that this conference was. I'd have to like
Is
look
that
up
a
the
big
actual date.
thing? Did you go by yourself?
I actually found somebody in a local community when I was
To go with?
living in that community. Yeah, and she
Oh, neat.
offered to sort of travel with me on the train because, like, I
Okay.
didn't know if I wanted to do that by myself.
Yeah.
But
And it was just like a fair of,
it was held at a conference center, and it was huge. There was thousands of people there,
yeah.
and Doreen was on stage with her at the time. I think maybe she's still married to him, Michael, her husband, and then Radley Valentine, and they just had this aura about them, and the people there were just really all of the same sort of mindset, if you will, really into this divination, angelic realm. And I met some amazing people. There was some people that I actually kept in touch with after that conference and things like that. So yeah, it was a good experience. But that was my first tarot deck,
that
I
was your
would say.
first tarot deck.
So that was
Yeah.
like 10 years ago ish, and now
Okay.
look, here we are down the rabbit hole we go. So um,
Okay. Thank you, Tangi, for helping here. Um, okay. You are doing great. You are doing great. Um, do you have duplicate trinkets? Do you have like a dozen of a particular trinket?
so the rule is in my little trinket jar or in my tray, whatever you call this thing here, you won't find anything that's an actual duplicate. No. But like I said, I do have a couple of other jars that I keep some duplicates in. So, for example,
Oh.
I've brought in some little, like, I'll show you this here. So, this little guy here, he's like a little glass bead.
Oh,
And
that's so cute.
and these things come on a string at Michael's, right? So they're made for like you're
Okay.
supposed to like make jewelry or whatever, make things out of them. I mean, I don't
Right.
think they're made for divination, but anyway, they come on like a string of like 12, you know. So
Oh.
I would put just like the one in here, or maybe two if it's a different color, and then I would put all the rest in these other jars. And I have been known to just sort of send people some
Yeah,
trinkets.
and you give them away or
Yeah, so I would just mail them out to people like in the community and things like that. Like I did it with Tangi. We actually did a trinket trade recently, Tangi and I.
ah,
So that was kind of fun. Um,
oh,
and I'm
neat.
actually due to ship out Amy Strength Reversed her little package that, excuse me, I've been meaning to send for the last year, but have not gotten around to it because life
I
happens.
know. I know. Let's
um,
see if I can show
but
this.
yeah.
Okay, what trinket would you like to add to your collection?
I'm not looking to add anything to my collection, whether it be trinkets or cards at the moment, honestly. I don't feel like I'm missing any trinket. At one point, when I was really sort of developing my collection, I was looking for specific things. Like I really wanted to make sure I had a sword in there to represent the sword suit, things like that, or um, yeah, just little things that I felt like really needed to be represented in my readings. But now that I have such like a large collection, I don't feel like I don't even
You
know if it's
know,
possible to add anymore. But if they organically show up in my life, then I'm happy to sit with it and see if it feels right, and then I add it to there. But I do sporadically go through the collection just to pull out things that maybe no longer resonate or just feel stagnant.
so you
Um,
don't have any FOMO, like you need
no,
this certain trinket.
no, no. But I do have little pieces of like crystal clear quartz and little crystals within the trinkets mixed up to keep the energy sort of fresh. I'm really big into energy and how that affects everything, and which is
Yeah,
also how I carry myself in the world. Which, like you said, like I seem like caring and like I'm a teacher because I know that our words are spells, and our energy is intention, and it affects everything you do out here, how
yeah,
you interact with each other, the comments that you leave on people's channels.
yes,
Everything matters, and
yes.
so it's
I
just
noticed that you're a big advocate of mental health
yes,
issues. So
yes,
it's just so important,
yes,
these days.
absolutely.
What you say, what you write
Hmm.
matters definitely.
Yes, yes, yes. I actually, mental health is what I want to specialize in, and I would
Oh,
already say
really?
I sort of am actually because I'm a huge advocate
Yeah,
for all levels of mental health and whatever that looks like and whatever that means for people. As you know, it's a vast topic. But, you know, I just, mental health in general is just that elephant in the room that like nobody
Mhm.
wants to talk about, that healthcare professionals don't want to deal with. They just sort of medicate it and push it off to the side, and it's wrong. I mean, certainly, and not to really go too much medically into it because it's where do you even stop? But I
Right.
respect and understand that, yes, there's medications that are specifically for certain things that need to be taken for maybe chemical imbalance in the body or whatnot. I understand that, but there's such this push to over medicate people instead of dealing with the core of the issue.
Right.
There's people in our world that are just so broken because they have so much trauma in their bodies and they don't know what to do with it. And
Yeah.
so, of course, they're going to turn to addictions. Of course, they're going to turn to the
Right.
doctor for help, which is, again, just going to get them onto an addiction of, oh, here, just take these
Right.
antidepressants. But that's not the answer. Maybe it's a temporary fix, but that's not the answer. So, anyhow, not to get
No,
on that
I
platform, but
understand.
I,
Yeah.
yes, I'm a
But
huge advocate for that. And I
yeah,
always, you'll see
absolutely.
me always sort of dibble dabbling between the light and the dark. I'm always saying, even in my Christmas vlogmas, like, yes, we all want to be cheery, Christmas, hey, but that's not the reality, okay, for a lot of people.
Right.
And so I think that it's important to acknowledge that out here, that, my reality is not everyone's reality. And I respect that. And I don't take that for granted, the things that I'm able to do that maybe others cannot do. And I just try to give back as much as I can in life. And that's sort of one reason I started my channel as well, to hopefully, if someone with an internet connection is able to sort of hear me, that my voice alone maybe would comfort them and help them in some way.
Yeah. I
So
love that, Ange. Yeah.
there are some videos coming that I'm going to be creating that focus on, grief, mental illness, just a very various of different topics that I just sort of want to incorporate in with the cards and just sort of make
Yeah.
it uh, a fun video instead of maybe a heavy video, because I know
Right.
sometimes the topic, and people living with mental illness, like, oh, here we go again. They don't really
Yeah.
want to be like talked at; they want to be talked to.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That
yeah.
was one of my questions, is that you are very much one to create a sense of community. And
Hmm.
one of my questions is, what do you think that you can roll out in 2022 to help bring us all together?
Hmm.
And you answered my question there.
Yeah. Yeah. Certainly a lot of ideas for videos. I mean, I'm a post-it nerd. So these post-it
Uh,
notes are just a
oh
small
my gosh.
example of ideas that I have. I mean, not
Oh,
every
neat.
post-it note is an elaborate idea. It's just sort of a thought. But um, I do have a lot of ideas for this channel. I've
That's
just sort
cool.
of I'm trying to organically grow it and only make videos that are intentional and not harmful. And I mean, not to get down this rabbit hole, but I really don't want to be that channel that's just doing flip throughs and walkthroughs, and because I just don't want to enable people to say, oh, that's a really pretty deck, I want to buy that. Which, again, I know that we all are responsible for our own actions, but I would rather showcase a deck or just kind of go through some cards and have a conversation around it, or maybe how I
Mhm.
use it or how I interpret things in the cards. I mean, sure, I could show all of my decks, flip through all my decks, and get a whole bunch of clicks and
Yeah.
likes and views, but that's not what I want for my space. And don't get me wrong, I'm grateful for the channels that do that, because that is how I was able to find so many of the decks that I
Right.
have, because you can't just flip through a deck in the store. So
Yes.
there's a
Yeah.
place for that.
There
I'm
is.
saying, for me personally, I I just want something deeper. And like, if anyone watches my first video that I created, I just really am longing and desiring, and I have a thirst for like a connection of community and authentic engagement. I really
Yeah.
love this, that we're just sitting here talking and connecting
Yeah.
with one another in this way. And it doesn't necessarily have to be about uh, tarot, although tarot
Right.
weaves its way in because it's life, right?
Sure.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I saw Peekaboo Rose,
Oh, Julie.
Julie, come in, I think.
Hey.
Oh, She's not feeling. I'm in bed feeling it. Oh, thank you for checking in. I hope you feel better.
Oh, yeah, definitely feel better, Julie. That sucks.
Yeah, it
Big
does.
hugs, big hugs.
Yeah, the calendar, sickness and death and depression does not care what the calendar says. It
That's right.
doesn't care that it's Christmas.
That's right.
You know, we've had we had a death uh, in our family a few days ago, or a week ago, and we just went to the funeral. And it's like, you know, Christmas is here, and there's nothing we can do about that. And there's
Yeah.
so many people that, want you to be happy and, put on this face. And
Yeah.
yeah, so I like to reach out to people that understand that
Yep.
you can't always be sunshine and fart
No.
and fart
No.
rainbows.
And
But
most of the channels that I follow are those type of people that get it. They get like life is not always, has to be like you said, sunshine and
yeah,
rainbows. Like I love the people that sort of are courageous enough to expose their vulnerability, to talk about maybe their own struggles with whatever they're going through in life.
yeah,
Um, and then, of course, we all like to have fun. I mean, this community is. I've had so much fun with all of
I
you.
know.
We do some
Oh my
some
gosh.
silly crap here and there, and that's cool too. But we've also had some heart-to-heart conversations in a lot of the channels too, and a lot of live chats. And I just love that it truly does feel like the experience, the whole experience of life, and not just sort of cherry picking. Like, oh well, tarot is this great thing, and it's like, well, okay, but there is some darkness there too that we really do need to focus on
Yeah.
and talk about because
Tarot's a
why?
good way to connect us
Hmm.
together or whatever,
That's right.
um, I, on my channel, I don't care how many people, subscribers I have. The only way I care is I think at 100, I was able to go live. I think, I don't know.
Hmm.
But I really don't care how many likes I get. The only reason I ever started to do this was for my own mental health. Like,
Nice.
I'm older, I live alone. Well, I have my husband, but I'm disabled, I don't have a job. So it's hard I don't even hear my own voice unless so it was
Right.
purely to just like for my sanity, just to hear my own voice. And, then it became, I found all these friends. And
Yes.
so, yeah, so you're all about community, and I love that. And I'm glad
Yes.
that
I
we're able
remember the
to do
first
this.
day that I saw you, Lori. I just love you. And this is what I mean. Like when I say authenticity, like you are the poster child of it. Like you come out and you're just like, this is who I am. Accept me for who I am, or fuck off. Excuse my language, but we need more of that. We need more of that. Of people not being afraid to just simply put themselves out there, and it doesn't necessarily mean you have to start a YouTube channel, but there
Right.
are a lot of people out there that are like, oh, I'd really like to do that, but there's no way I'd ever put my face on camera. I'm too this, I'm too that, I have to like lose the weight, I have to like
Oh my
have the
God.
wardrobe, I have to, it's like, no, you don't have to do any of that. Like I
Yeah.
am definitely a plus size girl. Um I don't put the makeup on. I don't do any of that shit. I'm talking to you on an iPhone with a frickin' Amazon ring light in front of me. Like that's it, and an
Yeah.
Amazon backdrop. That's all it takes. And you don't even have to have all
Well,
of that. That's just
you look
Gucci stuff.
great. You look
You
great,
know?
and you sound great. I mean, but if I waited to the point, if I waited to get to my ideal weight and talk perfect, and
Yeah,
I would never get on it.
exactly. And
So I
yeah,
just do my best and try to.
yeah,
That's why my name is Lori Tries Life, is because I just try.
yes,
I just
yes,
try. And I
hmm,
think my main thing is in life, my main thing is I just want to make people laugh.
yes, yes.
That's my main thing. And then asking all these crazy weird questions. Um,
Well, we love you
and
just the way you are. I know I can.
oh, thank
So
you. But this is about you, and we have come to the point, and where you have to say yes or no to the quizzical cube of crazy questions. It's not 3, it's not 5, it's 4 questions in our cube. It's actually not a cube, but we're going to say it's a cube. Do you accept?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Yay! Okay, it's shaking up real good.
Cool.
Okay, here's our silly questions in the cube.
Hello to everybody in chat. I can't actually really see what's going on in chat, but hello
Hi,
to all of
Kaz.
you.
Kaz jumped in. Okay. Oh, wow. My husband wrote these. God love him. He is so supportive. If you were given the power to fly or the power of invisibility, which would you choose?
I would choose invisibility.
I would too.
Yeah. You know that fly on the wall?
That's right. You could be anywhere. You could be in the president's office. You could be
Right?
in somebody's shower.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay. If you could make the ultimate trinket, what would it be? What would it have a certain thing on it? Like,
well, it would have to have some sort of an owl on it because owls are my thing.
I love owls. Yeah.
Yes, owls. I'm very connected with owls. Owls and angels are my thing. So if I could incorporate that somehow, that'd be pretty cool.
I like that. Okay. The third question is, okay, now this is a little too much. How many trinkets would fit in your room that you're in right now?
Oh, man.
You can't answer that one.
Hundreds of thousands. That's okay, Jimmy. We love you.
I think a billion. He's probably out there watching. Okay, the last quizzical comedy quartet question. I'm just thinking of Cuz. Oh, okay. I like this one. If you invented a color, what would you call it? Crazy quizzical questions. Thank you, Jimmy.
Probably Aurora Borealis, you know, like the Northern Lights.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yay!
That's sort of, if I could sum up my spirit, that's what I see myself as. Like
the Aurora Borealis where you're at? You're up north, right?
So I'm in southern, like southwestern Ontario in Canada, so we're pretty far south. But if I go maybe 4 hours north, we'd be able to start to see it. Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or we could just take mushrooms and.
Yes. Yes.
Well, you have cleared the quartet quizzical cube of death. You've answered them all. Before I let you go, is there any 4 cube questions? Is there any questions from the group? Do you have? I'd call it boop. Yeah, we know that's change. Pass me the boop crayon here. I love this, and I can't wait to see the things you come up with. And I truly mean that.
Yes.
I'm going to be lurking in your channel. No, I'm not a lurker. I'll probably say something.
That's cool. Lurkers are welcome too. Like not everybody is wanting to comment, especially some of the topics I'll be covering. I'm sure people will not be comfortable saying
trolls. That's what they are, right? Trolls. We don't want trolls. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you like to say anything else? Is there anything else that I haven't covered?
I don't think so. Let me see. I just took a few notes because I'm Virgo like that. I'm going to be live with Sheila and Sheila Inquisitive Tarot on Monday, January 10th at 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. So I don't know if Sheila's here in the chat, but I'll be on her channel on Monday, and I really love Sheila and have followed her from the very beginning as well. And she has grown tremendously, not only as a person, but in this community.
Yeah, she sure has. Yeah.
So I'll be over there on Monday. And I just look forward to putting out more videos and further connecting with everyone here in the community. If anyone wants to collaborate, live readings or interviews or things like that, just make sure you reach out to me because I'm open to it. And I just want to put myself out there more this year now that I have the time away from my studies to do it for a little bit.
Yeah,
And
we wish you all the luck and blessings, and we're there for you, and we'll be lurking on your channel.
okay, sounds good. Well, thanks for having me,
So
Lori.
I'll let you go now to take a drink of water or whatever, and and thank you so much for coming on. Thank you, chat people.
Yes, thank you,
Um,
everybody in chat. Love your
thank you,
support. Thank
Julie
you.
and Kaz. Color would be gigglicious. I like that too. Okay, so I'm going to go now, Ange. Going to go chat. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.
Okay, love ya. Bye.